Just notice on the chart there's this area called firing danger area, so I have no idea what that's about. It's just ahead of us on the chart, but our destination is down along the coast here, north I should say, to a place called Pinarello.
Continued exploring the beautiful islands of Sardinia and Corsica as we left our friends Matt and Michelle in Arbatax and hopscotched our way back north, ultimately for Elba Island, off the Italian mainland. We hope you enjoy the video, and as always we look forward to your comments.
Alright, so we swam in from the boat, checking out the depth of the water close to the shore so we know how the anchor will work. And I just give you a sense along here on the east coast of Corsica, near Calaganone. These cliffs are super tall, so just giving you perspective of what it looks like staring straight up. It's probably a couple hundred feet tall right here, and it comes straight down into the water. So really cool geography and geology. So we're gonna explore a little bit along the edge of the shore here and check out our own private beach around the corner. Little pebbles and our own cave. Not too often you have your own cave at an anchorage.
I'm waiting for you. No, I won't leave you. You've been down so long that I can barely breathe. In a sea of worry, I'm waiting for
Calamariani. Nice spot with little rocks on the water, and there's a whole bunch of this kind of stuff at the beaches nearby. Just little tiny pebbles. They're really smooth, white, really neat. A couple of them that are different colors. Some pink ones down there. And this time of the day, it's almost 5 o'clock, and so tour boats are starting to leave. Power boats that come out for the day are leaving. All those rigid inflatable boats that are for rent are leaving, and so we start to get to be a little bit more private and really nice. See a sailboat way out on the horizon, and this inflatable going by, and that power boat or the sailboat that was coming by to check it out did a drive-by and left, so possibly we may have this place to ourselves tonight. It's very rough here during the day, just because of all the wakes of all the passing boats, inflatables and tour boats and all that, but we're hoping it'll calm down a little bit. And there was a good wind out earlier, about 20 knots of wind, 15-20 knots of wind, so that's kind of kicked up some waves, but with any luck it'll calm down overnight, and we'll have a relatively quiet anchorage. I love these spots too, where you can see how the rock is shaped. I assume by the water, but also guess it could have been by wind, but it's just like carved out like that, as opposed to other places that are just sort of very straight and angular. Some of the stone must have either been softer or just exposed to more storms. You see that a lot along the coast here. I think most of this white stone is limestone. You get some interesting kind of holes in it. It makes it almost seem like it might have been volcanic at some point, or exposed to a lot of heat and gases that bubbled up inside there, and then the rock solidified. A lot of good colors here, a lot of browns, and pitting in the rock and all that. You can see how the rock kind of easily falls off after it sort of cracks and all these vertical lines and pieces fall off into the water. Great view looking out here too. This goes back in here quite a ways. We've seen this in some other cals too. It's kind of like a soft red dirt that's inside here, and I'm suspecting that's what is the looser soil that breaks away, washes away, or gets swept away by the wind, and forms these deep caves. Go in here a little further and check it out. And you got some green color to the rock in here too. Really cool. You get inside these caves and you don't realize how deep they are. This didn't look nearly as deep in here from the water, but you walk back in and you're like, wow, you know, went back in about 50 or 75 feet. It's pretty cool.
Just pretend that I didn't miss you, but now it's plain for me to see. Hey, you're my only remedy. Won't you please come back to me? And I swear that I'll never leave.
Got some interesting rock up here where the water carved out the rock just above the water line. And underneath is probably just all like skinny.
Making you my history. I'm begging of you, and the gods above you, that no matter what, you're gonna be alright. You've seen the bottom, stars fell and I caught 'em. Now I'm just holding back my tears.
We're in the northern part of Sardinia, near the town of Olbia, which is kind of a major transportation hub on the island. A lot of flights come in here, and we were anchored out here last night and kind of saw a continuous procession of car ferries. And this morning there's 3 of them, so one way over there, Moby, which seems to be kind of a prominent line, and then one in the distance there. So lots of car ferries coming and going from here. And this is just one port on Sardinia, but it is one of the closer spots to the Italian mainland. So we start out the day with kind of light headwinds. We're motoring upwind through that, and then it got a little more breezy, and the wind changed angles so we could sail. So we started sailing, and now we're crossing from the northern part of Sardinia into Corsica through the notorious Bonifacio Straits. So we're getting good winds of 20 plus knots. This is the whole Bonifacio Straits area. So the wind sort of funnels through here, with one side being the southern tip of Corsica and the other part being the northern tip of Sardinia. So the wind kind of gets squeezed through there and gets really blustery. So that's what we're running to now. We got a reef on the jib, but we kind of still have too much sail area up. The next thing would be to reef the main. We only got a couple more miles to go ahead of us, and then we'll be done. Got Sea Rose is doing well, sailing well, doing 8.1 knots. Good job, skipper. Kind of a craft I've never seen before. It's really almost like a fishing trawler with a couple masts up coming along. So as soon as we start to roll the reef into the jib, we get kind of port trim to the sail, and it's fluttering a lot because it's just not shaped well. But it's otherwise it's doing okay. If we rolled in more, it would be even worse shape. But it's kind of the compromise you make with a roller furling jib. Yep, doing 8.7, 8.6. Yeah, coming in hot.
Yep.
Not even enough time to change the courtesy flag from Italy to France and Sardinia to Corsica. We'll have to do that when we're coming into anchor. It's the land of super yachts aplenty, so we got this kind of motor sailor that passed us earlier. Traditional white motor yacht, a funky black and gray thing over there with lots of toys. Classic British motor yacht there. You got a big white one over there, and this really bizarre gray, ultra contemporary, somewhat ugly looking motor yacht there. And a whole bunch of motor yachts and sailboats up. We're gonna go up in this cove and try to find some protection from the wind. We'll see how that goes. So winning the award for the nicest motor yacht in the anchorage is this trawler over here. Well, I don't know, big party on the upper deck there or something, but it's a beautiful, beautiful trawler. Right, we just left the island of Cavallero in the southern part of Corsica, and we're sailing now today north along the eastern coast of Corsica. So it's a little bit before 9 o'clock, and we're having a really good sail here. It was up to about 20 knots a little bit a while ago, and broad reaching along the coast here. A couple other sailboats out, but otherwise a beautiful morning. These early morning starts are great. We'll probably sail about 20 miles today up the coast, and then our plan is from there to take off and go offshore over to one of the islands near Elba Island. There's a couple smaller islands south of Elba Island, and then we'll eventually get over to Elba Island from there. So doing a little hop here, a couple days in Corsica, and then we'll be back in Italian waters and exploring some new territory there. So we're looking forward to that. But beautiful morning here.
Just noticed on the chart there's this area called firing danger area, so I have no idea what that's about. It's just ahead of us on the chart, so we'll keep our eyes out for that. But our destination is down along the coast here, north I should say, to a place called Pinarello, right in this little gulf to Pinarello, and from there we'll cross over to one of these islands south of here. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Isla de Monte Cristo, right here, and maybe Isla Pinanosa on our way to Elba Island, which has got a lot of things, great things to see there. So that's kind of our general course here.
Kind of like the other beach Calo that we were at, Calabriola, but it had white rock, white limestone rock. This has sort of cool browns and reds. Shortly after 6 in the morning, and we're leaving Pinarello on the east coast of Corsica, and the sun's just kind of coming up. And we're headed across, actually I should say the sun is not quite up yet. I think it's coming up at 6:30. But we're headed across to Elba Island, close to Italy. So it's about a 75-mile passage. Thankfully we didn't have to get up before dawn for it because it wasn't as long as some of our other passages. So we decided just to get up like a half hour before sunrise so we could be able to see. And beautiful morning. I'm a little concerned about this, like what looks like a frontal line across here. There were no clouds in the sky yesterday when we came here. We had most of the day here. Definitely looks like rain over there, and definitely looks like rain over there. And these are the kind of like storm clouds that can turn into, well, are a fresh reminder of our experience far way down the coast of Sardinia when we got trapped in a bunch of thunderstorms and huge wind. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. I'll probably pull up the radar to see if I can see what's showing, but that looks dark enough to be rain. If it's just rain, no big deal. It's really the wind that's the big unknown, because it could come with ferocity, as we saw about a week ago. But nice morning. We'll say goodbye to Corsica. We were only here for, I think, in this part of France for 2 days. Say goodbye to the Genoese towers. We saw so many of those on the Corsica coast with Emmy, and that'll be a special memory there. This was an unusual one. It's square. All the other Genoese towers we saw were round, but that one is square. And pretty little town. If you're coming up the east coast of Corsica, Pinarello is a good spot to come to, and a good jumping off spot to get over to Elba Island. Oh, I see another Genoese tower right on that point over there. They're all along here. It's really pretty cool. So that's our plan today. I think it's going to be mostly motoring. Really, there's no wind, much wind in the forecast at all. So we'll be having a day of motoring to get over to Elba Island. Looking forward to it. This is probably our last sort of significant passage. We might have another one near the end of our trip here when we go down to Sicily, but it's possible we made us go along the coast to get down there as well. So last big passage, and then we're just coastal sailing. So I just checked on radar about this frontal line over here, and I don't see anything on the radar, so that makes me feel okay. I'll still be keeping a watchful eye on it. But you can see our course here. This little blip right on the line is that looks like a fishing boat down there. But nothing else. I was expecting to see a little light scattering of dots, maybe over here and up there. But I haven't seen them. I'm zooming out further. I'm at 8 nautical miles. Nothing showing up, as well as 12 nautical miles. So further distances on this, and it's kind of hard to get a lot of accuracy with the radar. But that makes me feel good, and we'll keep an eye on it and see if there might be potential wind in there at all. Being on watch for sunrise, nothing quite like it. It's great. Just coming up now. I'm always amazed how fast the sun rises and how fast it moves across the sky. This was 3 minutes from just appearing on the horizon to the full sun over the horizon. So it moves that fast in 3 minutes, and it takes all day to go up and over the sky in the sunset. So it's I guess some sort of optical illusion in a way, because the sun seems so big when it's on the horizon, but when it's up in the sky it's not nearly as relatively big. Not quite sure, but it's really amazing that just 3 minutes is all it took to go up that high.